Hello and welcome to Mog's Favorite Heroes. If you are new to the channel and haven't seen this series before, it's probably because I haven't made one in a couple of weeks. But the purpose of this series is just to showcase some of my all-time favorite heroes, tell you why I like them, show you maybe some strategies and talent builds for these heroes, and just try to really showcase what the hero can do. So today we're playing Zool, one of my favorite specialists. This guy is a rotational king. If you're rotating around with Zool, you're probably getting mad value, and we're gonna hope to demonstrate that in this match. So let's jump into the game and see how it goes. Alright, here we go. Fighting on Infernal Shrines. Friendly team is the Butcher, Zool, Mephisto, what is her name? Valera, and Whitemane. Fighting against the Lost Vikings, Nova, Kerrigan, Kel'Thuzad, and Alexstrasza. This is a pretty good map for Zool, because the lanes are fairly close together, and you don't really want to pick Zool on really big maps. And the reason for that is Zool gets most of his value out of rotating between lanes and generating skeletons in those lanes. On really big maps, this becomes more difficult because you're going to miss part of the wave, and you really don't want to do that, because then you're missing out on XP. Level 1 talent is going to be Backlash, and we're going to wait for this wave and try to show some of Zool's abilities right here at the opening of the game. Zool's Q ability is the Spectral Scythe. This throws out a scythe, it begins to spin and travels back towards Zool. Any enemies, minions, or structures that are hit by that scythe as it returns receive damage. And this scythe can be given bonuses as the match goes on through talents. Zool's W ability is what's called Cursed Strikes. This ability causes Zool's attacks to come out in a large frontal cleave, dealing damage to all enemies in front of Zool and applying an attack speed slow to those enemies. Zool's E ability is known as the Bone Prison. This ability traps enemies in a prison made of bone, causing them to be rooted for a period of time. And it's pretty close to 2 seconds. It used to be a flat 2-second root. Now it's 1.75 seconds. And, I mean, that's okay. We're gonna get up here, get these cleaves going, and we're gonna head back to the top lane. We're just rotating back and forth between top and mid here, creating as many skeletons as we can. And we just got here in time to catch that minion. You don't want to miss any minions. You want to make sure you're getting all the XP. Next wave is about to show up here. If we had the friendly team rotating with us, we could rotate top down, top down, top down, top down, but because we don't, our clear is a little slow in the early game, so we're going to have to wait for another wave. But we have friendlies in the mid lane to catch all that XP, so it's not that big a deal. Now that we've cleared that lane, we can rotate down to mid and try to generate some more skeletons. Next talent is going to be a reduction on the Curse Strikes cooldown here. Go ahead and throw out the Spectral Scythe and give them the Curse Strikes. And we're going to rotate back to the top lane. We're just going to keep doing this for a little while. Now there are other laning strategies you can utilize on Zool. I will try to show you another one as the match goes on. But for right now, in the early game, while my wave clear is pretty low, we're going to stick with what we have. And that's just rotating between top and mid. I'm going to go ahead and tap for mana, and then come out here and catch another wave of soak. Friendly team died off in the bot lane there. Or the mid lane, I mean. Now I could have probably rooted that Viking and killed him, but I'm wanting to save that for the impending fight over the shrine. And I'm going to go ahead and start clearing on this. Now because the enemy team isn't actually pushing in here, I'm just going to rotate up top, get another wave of soak here. Because Vikings are going to be getting some serious value if we just leave them uncontested to soak. So we're not gonna let them just get free soak. We're gonna keep pushing them back, keep getting that wave as often as I can. But with the enemy team being here, we need to be here to help fight over this shrine. We're gonna go ahead and throw a root out right here, activate our bone armor, which isn't going to connect with any enemies, but that's okay. We push them back, and I'm gonna go ahead and rotate on up to that top lane and get that soak again. Get that lane soak. Keep these Vikings from getting too much value. And we pick up another kill on a Viking. Alright, heading back down to the shrine. We are going to pick up the, let's see. We're going to get the Skeletal Warriors give us mana, because the enemy team doesn't have a whole lot of attack speed that we need to be reducing here. So that's fine. Gonna go ahead and activate my bone armor here. Kerrigan is down, and we're back in on the shrine. Now you can see me getting these little tiny heals. Those were from the skeletons that I just made in that lane. I'm gonna come back down into this lane and make more skeletons. Alright. Here we go. We're just gonna kind of push up. Alright. I'm gonna show you this other strategy here really quick that Zool has while the enemy team is occupied here. I think I actually missed the opportunity. But we'll just wait for it. We're gonna come on up here into the top lane, clear out this wave, get this soak, and wait for the next waves to spawn. I'm gonna activate my bone armor, because these Vikings are looking to do some damage to us. Next wave is spawning, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave. And I'm gonna head around behind the enemy fort here and attempt to catch this wave. I missed it. It's up there. I missed it. Alright. Well, I'm not good at that strategy, because I never do it. But what the idea is, you watch your lanes. When your minions start coming out, you get over here behind this fort and catch the wave there. Then what's remaining of this enemy wave will cause the two friendly waves to bunch up. Which will result in a lot of structure damage there. Alright, so level 10, we're gonna go with the Skeletal Mages here. What this does is it spawns out 4 Skeletal Mages in a line. These mages do body block, and they attack enemy heroes that are nearby, dealing damage and slowing them by about 40%. That's not the real Nova. Alright, heading back down to the mid lane here. I'm gonna go ahead and catch another wave of soak. Next waves will be spawning here in just a moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go behind the enemy fort here. I don't know if I'm gonna catch it. I don't know if I'm gonna catch it. I don't know if I'm gonna catch it. I'm not gonna catch it. I'm bad at that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out the Skeletal Mages. They'll tank the fort here. There we go. There's a good double. We can push. I will demonstrate that for you guys. I'm not used to doing it that much. I don't do it too much. It's a dangerous strat, so you gotta be kind of careful about it. Trying to get on there and get that root on the Kerrigan, but I was slowed pretty drastically. So we're going to clear out this lane, and we're going to head back down to the mid lane, because that lane's starting to build up and push more towards our fort, and we don't want that. And you can see that we're keeping up with the Vikings' soak by just rotating around and getting value through our skeletons. I'm going to go ahead and clear out this next wave. And then I'll show you that strategy here on the enemy bottom lane fort. Next waves are spawning right now, so I should be able to get there in time. It should be passing the main fort right here. And here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and activate my bone armor here and get out. You want to be quick about this though if you're gonna do that. Basically what it does is now this minion wave is gonna march straight to the enemy fort. So they have to defend that. If they don't defend that, we get damage on their wall. Pretty free damage on their wall. And you can see I think one minion survived that and made it through. But the rest of that wave is gonna do straight damage to the enemy fort, which is pretty spectacular. That's another strategy you can do. You just have to be really quick about it. I generally try to wait until after level 7 if I'm going to try to do that, so that I have enough wave clear to attempt to deal with that. We're going to go with the Echoes of Death here, where we spawn additional spectral scythes. And Alexstrasza is down rather immediately. Our butcher should be done with his meat by now. Alright, I need to rotate down to the mid lane here if I am going to keep us in this, or these Vikings are going to make up a lot of this XP that I've gained, and we don't want that. We want to make sure these Vikings aren't getting a lot of value here. Two Vikings are down. I'm going to clear out this next wave. Once it arrives, it should be arriving right now. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm dead.
Your killing spree is over.
That's one risk that you play if you're going to play heavy rotational with Zul and your team isn't going to rotate with you, which they shouldn't have. They have an objective up here, so they should be dealing with that. I thought I would get the one wave, go back up and be with the team in time to push on the keep, but the enemy team decided to come on down here and kill me instead of going up here to try and defend their fort, which is probably the better play for them to make, because that fort's dead no matter what, you know? So that was probably the right move for them, and I should have seen it coming. I really should have, because that's exactly the move I would have made. Alright, level 16, we're going with the Bone Spear. This gives us another activatable ability here. And what this does is it throws out a spear. It's fairly wide, and it deals damage to everything that it hits. All enemies and minions that it connects with, it deals damage to them. Alright, we're waiting on that crowd control from the Kel'Thuzad to go away right there. And I'm gonna head down here and take this camp. I should be able to take this camp fairly easily with my major AoE. Zul is a lot of AoE, especially if you take his other ultimate. His other ultimate is insane AoE. And this guy's toast. Alright, I'm gonna head down to the bot lane, generate some skeletons there, and then probably head back up to the mid lane and generate even more. And there we go, we're getting free damage on that keep wall. I'm actually gonna head down here, kill off this little wall, and I'm gonna get these camps down here. Alright. So far we have a huge advantage in this game, and we didn't let the Vikings get too out of control here with their XP gains, so that's pretty good. And that's one of the things that Zul brings to the team, is a lot of XP soak, a lot of push, and a lot of wave clear. And these are things that are very handy on certain maps. For instance, this is a great map for Zul. Another really, really good map for Zul, probably the best map for Zul, is Tomb of the Spider Queen. You just generate so much pressure on that map. Another map where Zul does really well in a bit of a weird strategy is Blackheart's Bay, where you draft a 4-man for the bot lane, and Zul soaks top and mid by himself. That's one of the other weird strategies that Zul is a part of. I'm not going in there. That's death. Actually, we're about to have 3 right here. No, there's 4 here. There's 4 enemies here. I'm gonna head down to the bot lane. Uh-oh. No, we're about to fight, aren't we? Skeletal mages will deal with him. I'm gonna head down to the bot lane and deal with these Vikings.
Shrine will be ready soon.
Or I'm not actually gonna deal with them. I'm just gonna clear out these skeletons first. Or make some skeletons first. Now we'll come up here and deal with them. One of them's running away. There we go, 2 Vikings down. And if you're playing things like Vikings or Murky, you should know that your deaths do provide XP to the enemy team. So, granted, it provides less XP for the enemy team if you're only losing like 1 Viking at a time. But over time, if you're dying a lot on those heroes, you're going to be providing a lot of XP. It'll add up pretty significantly, and I think we've gotten a fair bit from these Vikings so far in this match. I'm just going to stay with the team on this one, and we're going to go for the Mortal Wound, which will be really good against an Alexstrasza, especially when she pops her ultimate to try and save someone from death. And here we go. We are in here, going to throw out the scythes, get that healing reduction going. We're in a little too far, I think. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw skeletal mages over this wall and just keep the enemy back while we kill the wall. Gonna bone spear that Kerrigan there. She's toast. Didn't even have to reduce the healing on that. Where's this Alexstrasza gonna land? Way over there. If she landed near us, I was gonna root her right out of the gate, but she didn't. We're just gonna go ahead and hit the core here, and that'll be GG. I messed up trying to show you that one strat pretty hard. I was mistiming the minion waves. I haven't played that strat in a very long time, but it is a really good strat. But you have to really pay attention to your map if you're gonna play that one. For instance, that Kerrigan, if she was in a lane in top or mid, and I was gonna go behind the top keep, or behind the top fort and clear that wave, I wouldn't want to do it if the Kerrigan was in top or mid lane, because I know she's going to try to rotate up on me, and she has the potential to lock me down while the other person from the top lane comes in and potentially finishes off the kill on me. So you really want to make sure the enemy team is kind of clumped up in other lanes if you're going to do that. If you see the opportunity to do it, take it. But if you don't have the opportunity to do it, then maybe it's better to just rotate between lanes, which is pretty standard for Zul's. Let's look at some stats here. 122,000 siege damage from Zul, 16,000 experience soak. That all comes from rotating. Just major priority on rotating with Zul, which is one of the reasons that I really love the hero. Only 32,000 hero damage. You can get pretty high hero damage out of Zul if you really want to, but I was more focusing on trying to counter some of that Viking XP soak, and you can see I was only 3,000 XP behind them. And the rest of my team did a pretty good job of making sure they were getting as much soak as they could as well. The Mephisto with 14, the Valera with 11, nobody on the enemy team even coming close to that if I'm the one competing with the Vikings. Whitemane healing 77,000 hero damage, Alexstrasza with only 47,000 healing. It's a little weird. Alexstrazzas usually do fairly well, but when you have a Mephisto, a Valera, and a Butcher running straight down straight down on you, I guess you get pushed out of that healing circle pretty hard. Let's look at some talents and see what this Alexstrasza went with. Let's see. Gift of Life's cooldown recharges 100% faster. It looks like she went for a Q build here. Which is a really good build. I played a Brawl probably a month ago, I think. It was the Tomb of the Spider Queen ARAM brawl, and I got Alexstrasza, the brawl lasted about an hour. So I got really familiar with Alexstrasza's Q build, and I love it. It's really strong. I like it far more than the Healing Circle build, because the Healing Circle is kind of a trap against certain heroes. For instance, your Kael'thas, your Kerrigan, Butcher after level 20. That's a death trap if he takes the, lamb everyone talent. And there are plenty of other heroes that turn that into a death trap. So I really like the Q build for Alexstrasza. I'm not sure why she had such low healing. I do know that a lot of, when I first started in that brawl, I would activate my dragon form, and I would forget to use my Q over and over and over again because I didn't pay attention to the cooldown reduction that it got, and that might be something that was happening here as well. She did go with the Cleansing Flame. I think she may have been using it a little too late in some instances, but hey, she's learning. You gotta let them learn. That's what Quick Match is for. Let's see, Valeera. I don't play a whole lot of Valeera. She is probably my favorite stealth hero, though, which means you might see her in a later episode of Mog's Favorite Heroes. But nothing too spectacular there. White Mane, Clemency, High Inquisitor, Fanatical Power, Harsh Discipline Radiance, Scarlet Crusade, Mad Healing coming out if you have the, what is it called, Zeal on all of your teammates, and then you throw down this ultimate. It's a lot of healing. Yeah. Kerrigan, soon to get a rework. I'm super excited for that. That should be out in the near future. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I think I did a pretty good job of showcasing this hero, showing you some strategies, showing you one of the builds. This isn't the only build for Zool. There is also a skeleton build for Zool. We took one of those talents here just to try and keep my mana up, is the only reason I took it, and because I didn't think the other talents were really going to provide that much more value than getting a little bit of mana back. But the skeleton build, I think, is falling away faster and faster, and the Cursed Strikes build is starting to rise up in its place. Or at least that's the pattern that I'm noticing with most Zools that I see. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode.